Hey, how you doing, guys? This is JP Sarri coming to you once again, and this time I have something super cool, something that I've been waiting for quite some time. It's been a while. I've been involved in this project, and it's a very big surprise for us. We're very happy with the outcome, and we're still working on this. And I want to just share this experience, and I want to share this with all of you. As some of you know, I'm a fan of Erick Sosa. I've been a fan of him for years I've been collecting since I started collecting or restart to collect year back in 2009. That's when I came back into collecting, a little more heavily than I used to, and I always admired his work with with the things that he did with Bowen and things that he did with with Kotobukiya, and also the things that he has done with Prototype C. I was a big fan when in this case, Kotobukiya had the opportunity, or they wanted to do the extend the Danger Room sessions, the X-Men collection, and in the beginning they have a lot of ideas. We have seen some of those sculpts, or some of the statues being made, but were a few that were not made. And then we have to really fight. We fought really hard for them to. For the Wikia to release some of the statues. As you know, an example, it was the Brown Wolverine. We have to, campaign on statue form, but also we campaign in Facebook or whatever we had the opportunity online. Just try to, push Kotobukiya to produce that, and Kotobukiya was able to do it in the end. The same we did. My friend Gomer. Always going to give him the credit for that because he was the one that started the campaign. We campaigned for. Also for Rogue to come back because Rogue was hinted. Beautiful prototype, was never produced for some reason, X or Y. We never knew exactly why, but it wasn't done. So, but Kotobukiya listened again, and they were able to do a new sculpt that actually was approved, and we just finally received it not long ago. So those are great news. But there's other characters that we weren't able to see, and one of them was Sabretooth. For reasons that are beyond my comprehension, Kotobukiya or Marvel decided not to go that route, and they have other projects in their hands. So that meant that, even though we wanted Sabretooth too, that was also hinted, we didn't get a chance. So, it was disappointing. And, finally, what else can we do? We cannot just we can pressure companies to do one thing, but sometimes they are not going to do it. So they have to. We have to figure out another routes. A friend of mine, in this case, my friend Anthony LaPrince, he actually one day I was just I don't know. He contacted me, and he was talking about this great idea about why we don't do our own version just for ourselves. Why we don't do Sabretooth. And I was listening to him, and actually I was very skeptical at first of what he was saying. Because in my mind I'm thinking, like, how can we handle this? How can we manage this? But he was very persistent, and I don't know. He won my heart in that end. He really did. And it was another friend also involved. With three of us. At the end, the other friend, didn't. He had other commitments, other things to do, so we he couldn't go along with us. So in the end, we decided to work together. Anthony had so many great ideas. He wanted somebody to help him, to shape those ideas. So that's when I came in place. I came into the group with that, and we worked together. It has been a long time. It's been over a year for us to really figure out how to do things. It's a lot of within the kit community, within the garage kit community. There's a lot of uptight information. People do not share a lot of information, for obvious reasons. So we decided to find out how to do this, because this is not something that we want to do. For gain. It's something they wanted to do for us. So we had everything to do. We went through all the process, learning things, talking to people, asking questions, and finally we were able to convince, in this case, Erick Sosa. He was so kind, and he was able to find some time for us to design what we wanted, because we wanted something like a 1/6 scale Sabertooth, and this is what it is. Here you can see this is just a kit. A kit that was designed and actually was sculpted by the great Erick Sosa to actually resemble, the Jim Lee era Sabretooth that we all, that I grew up with, the one that is my favorite. Although I grew up with the 80s version, but the earliest version, the classic version, but this is actually to me my favorite version, and probably the favorite version of many of you. It's so much involved into getting this done, from sculpt to doing the prototype, and then doing you know, the molding, and then doing the first kits, the cast, because it's a kit that still needs to be put together, needs to be assembled, and needs to be painted. But here you can see, I want to show you this. Is the reason why I have this video, because I want to show you every single part to see how it comes, so you know exactly what is involved into this process. It's been a lot of learning in this, and I'm very happy. This arrived yesterday. I have to go to work, so I didn't get a chance to really look at it. But now I'm looking at it, and I'm so amazed about the work. And the person that did, in this case, the casting for us, he's amazing. He wants to keep his name, you know, private. But he's one of the best in the industry, and he did us a big favor. He wanted to do it for us. Thank you for that. But yes, you know, he did such a fantastic job, and you can see this is a high quality kit. You're gonna see a lot of, nowadays there's a lot of kits out there, but there's a lot of 1/4 scale kits, and a lot of people don't want to get into the 1/6. I don't know why. But the thing is this, these are amazing. You know, the quality of this material is amazing. It's much better than what you will get in a company material. You know, if you buy a product from a company, of course they cut some corners to produce, you know, something where they can make more money and profit. We decided not to do that. We wanted to give you the best material, so you have high quality resin. So this is thick. This is not hollow. None of these pieces are hollow, and it's very sturdy. And let me show you this. This is just the base. The base was huge. Some of this part, let me move them here. Here is the base. Oh, it's heavy. It's fantastic. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of detail. Let me just put it back, and I'm going to try to do it this way. Here's where actually the hole where the foot's going to rest, one of the foot, and there's the other one right there. But you can see, we designed this with an idea in mind. We wanted to resemble a little bit of, you know, the original Kotobukiya had, but we want to give our own flair. We took inspiration for a lot of things. First of all, we took inspiration from that original sculpt. That to me is beautiful, but I think this is a lot better, this design. This was some years back. I think Erick has improved a lot in his art. He's much better now than what he used to be. Like every artist, you know, there's always a progress. We also want to take inspiration in other artists and other statues that have been created with this kind of classic, you know, pose from Sabretootth. And we decided, you know, to make a rocky terrain that resembles like some type of snow and rocky, you know, like, you know, Canadian landscape. Definitely, it is phenomenal. I really like it. You know, as you can see, there's everything is molded. It's very clean. One thing I can say is some molds, sometimes they are not as clean. They need some work, and like everything else, gonna need some work in some areas and some parts. Other than that, this is ready to go. You know, you need to you can assemble this stuff. You can prime it. You know, you can put things together. There's some work to be done, of course. But you know, if you're a kid maker, or if you're somebody that wants to get into kits, there's a lot. Now the base, the idea at first, we thought about it, maybe creating something closer to what the Danger Room Sessions has, like a little base in that. But in the end, we took it out because we consider some other factors. One of them is the fact that if you want to match it up with also bowing, and I'm gonna, at the end of this video, I'm gonna have comparisons with bowing pieces, and I'm gonna try to assemble this and have some comparisons with Kotobukiya, so you can see the, you know, the scale. We wanted something that kind of match up with everything. So we decided we need to take that out of the equation. It's still, if you want to just adapt something in the base, and also the way it is set up there, you can put, like, I don't know, you want to put another extra layer of base, or you want to do something cool about it, or you want to just do things. It's yours, you know. It's if whoever, you know, work on this can have, you know, their own ideas, you know, and, you know, we want to create different ideas. So actually we already have ideas of how we want to do it in different formats. But as you can see right here, it's just phenomenal. Now this is the body. Wow, this is heavy. When I took it, it's like, man, this is, I could kill somebody with this. Definitely, he did a phenomenal job. Our caster, you can see right there, it's thick. It has so much detail. Of course, you can see as a kid, you know, you have to install this. If you need to learn to assemble, or you want to assemble something, I would recommend you to go to a Vince Vels Customs. I'm gonna put the link into his videos. He's phenomenal. He's a extra cool guy. He hangs out at you know, Statue Forum, but he is phenomenal. And what I like about him is that the fact that he he teaches, he shares his experience as a kit maker with people, and definitely I would recommend you. But look at this. Oh wow, I love it. There's no imperfections in this body. I really like it. But we want to do other things, like this, for example. We want to create a wooden, it goes right there. You can see. Oh wow, it's cool. It's cool. It's a different material. This actually is a thicker resin. The purpose of that was just the fact that like we don't want no breakage into this. Of course, this all is high-end quality resin, but we want something a little thicker just for protection, because accidents can happen and you can snap this. So it's a very thick, but it's just a wood, old wood, and it has a little part where you can actually get this in. So this is phenomenal. The way it was all set up is make it a lot easier for you, as you can see. Phenomenal. Oh, I really love it. Another great thing about this is because this is an Erick sculpt, and we want to just give credit to credit's due, and as a way to really prove the quality. In this case, that this is an original, not a copy. We decide, we ask him to sign his work like he always does, and he is right there. It's the signature. It's Sosa 16. That's when he finally finished the sculpt before he went into, to the in this case the prototype to be made. So I'm very happy. Thank you, Erick. I really appreciate that, all the effort, and even though in your tight schedule, you were able to manage to do this for us, and that's definitely a really sign of friendship. Support Erick. That's what I can tell you. Support Erick. Right here, as you can see, these are the faces. We decided to make two different faces. Like I love switch out. Everybody loves switch outs. I do. So we wanted to do something where we can just have a different switch out. So we created two different ones. One with the open mouth, this one, and one with the closed mouth. In the beginning, we didn't know exactly what to do with this. But actually, I used to own the 1/4 scale sideshow Sabretootth, the Jim Lee era. Now we have a newer version, the classic one, of course. A very beautiful. It's sculpted by Martin Canale from the Gore Group, one of the best sculptors in the industry. Definitely phenomenal. And I always loved the portraits of those. I did. I was a fan. So that's where came my idea. Why we don't do two portraits like in this case the exclusive with open and close, with a more feral image, and one with a more classic, smiling and laughing, evil laugh. It was just phenomenal. And as you can see right here, you can see why the hair is not there. Actually, you can actually put it there. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. Is like that. The reason why we had to do it this way, or the person that was in the casting did it this way, is because it was the only way to really get the mold properly. So we were able to get all the details out of the mold, especially with the open mouth. So this was the idea. That way there was no breakage, and it will be a lot easier to work on. So this is a phenomenal thing. Another thing that I never knew, that things that you learn and in the process, and that's fantastic. So you can see now. Look at this. I love this. I love the hands. Look at that detail. You might not see much because it's kind of white in the background, and the resin is very clear. Well, not clear, but white, kind of white. But look at it. Oh, I love it. I love this. Definitely, it's phenomenal. Oh wow. You can see the details. There's a lot of detail that you might not be able to catch up because it's white, but look at that. Really well done. And the material, the high resin, is well done. This probably, we'll make the holes and all that. You can use some magnets, install magnets when it's time to do it. We'll put some magnets on it. Here are the arms, thick arms, heavy arms. Even some, to be honest with you, even some bone pieces don't even weigh as much as this. It's a joke, but don't take it too personal. But it's the truth. Like if you've been a follower of Bowen, that we had some hollow pieces, and none of this is hollow. This is just thick material, and you can see the leg here. I love it. I love all the details. I love that even in the cast, we have all the little details that normally sometimes they can be lost in translation. I don't know, you can see it there. There's some there. This that we might have to take this out and put a peg on it just to make it fit, you know, to be more secure in the holes. But this is just the way it comes out on the kit, and this is the other leg. Phenomenal. This is just fantastic. All these pieces here together, you might not see much here, but here's the potential of greatness. So now it's time for some comparisons. Let me put this together, or at least try to put it together, and then we'll have some comparisons to see how this piece fits with other pieces. Here you go. Here you can see Sabretooth right next to the Danger Room Sessions, the brown Wolverine. He looks fantastic. You might not see much because of the white light, because it's white resin, but man, in person, the detail is amazing. And actually this piece is huge. And I put it on this because actually I put it all together. You know, I have to put it all together, put some glue on it. I didn't want to do that really, because once you do it, you know, then you just have to separate it and all that. But it's just so I can give you a much better idea of the size of this piece. He is humongous, and we decided to do it on the same scale as, you know, a Wolverine, so that way it will be easy to match up if you want to do, you know, some type of display like this. It's gonna look phenomenal. And that will go also for the original Wolverine, the yellow and blue suit that was actually first released by Kotobukiya. It's gonna match up the same. So, and I don't have that piece, but here you can see that. Oh wow, the detail is fantastic on this kit. It's just phenomenal. Look at that. You know, it looks terrific. It definitely looks a lot like the prototype that I have never seen, but only in pictures. I never got the opportunity to see it, but man, it's just phenomenal. Like everything else, there's some gaps that need to be filled out, but that's something that a kit maker is somebody, you know, even if you want to do kits, you can find the information about it. I would recommend, like I said before, Vince Vale Customs. He makes a lot of videos where he explains a lot of things, how to put kits together, and he teaches you basically how to do it. He does it for you there. But look at that, just phenomenal. I do love all the details that Eric did with this piece. It looks fantastic. Once it's all assembled and all painted, this is gonna look terrific. It's gonna be a terrific piece. And of course, you have to put some putty, some of that that they use for sculpting, you know, and then you can actually sand it, and then you can paint it. You need to be primed and painted. But once this the painter gets this done, it'd be phenomenal. Well, through the whole process, our desire has always been to be able to match up this with other pieces, you know, and to be able to complete, in this case, a Jim Lee style display in our collections, and this is definitely one of them. As you can see right here, it really is a perfect size. That's something that we had a lot of discussions about it. We didn't know exactly what kind of size we wanted. Of course, there's always because, you know, we have different collections. Some people love Kotobukiya, and that's what they collect. Some people love Bowen, and that's what they collect. Some people mismatch, and that's a mix match, and that's what I do. I put things together. And I wanted something that was reflective of both collections. So we wanted something in between. So there was a discussion at the beginning about how big we wanted, and I definitely think we nailed it on the size. It's definitely good. And as you can see right here, maybe the video doesn't show as much, and he might look a little shorter than Magneto, but don't forget Magneto is floating. But scale-wise, body-wise, he is a lot bigger than Magneto. Just the muscle, the body. This Magneto is just, you know, flowing, the Jim Lee era, and it's look fantastic. And as you can see right next to a Juggernaut, I love it. I'm definitely very happy with this. In my opinion, this is better than actually other things that have been done in the past. I love it, and one of the reasons why, like I said, we decided to go with a simpler base instead of doing something more complicated. So we want to match up, in this case, other bases, and it's particularly the Danger Room Sessions, when in reality, as you can see, the good guys always have the little base at the bottom, like the Danger Room style type of thing. But the villains, or the villains that have been done so far, they all have something more simpler, more like a environmental play, some type of debris. So we want to do something that was more natural to the environment of Sabretooth, and that is, you know, some place in the wilderness of Canada. So this is what we came up with. Now, how can we forget Bowen Designs? How can we really, you know, put aside one of the most important companies in the, you know, in the history of statues, you know, and statue collectors? Bowen Designs definitely. It's actually the one that started this trend, and the one that actually has brought some of the most amazing statues in the history, in this modern history of collecting. It's just phenomenal what the Bowen has done. And like I said, one of the reasons why we designed this, not only to match up with Kotobukiya pieces, but also to match up with Bowen pieces, to make it, very unique. And Bowen has some amazing, amazing pieces over the years. Great statues for all the different Marvel licenses, but especially the X-Men. And as you can see right here, these are the two of the greatest, in my opinion, my two favorite ones. And there's others too, but these are one of my favorite ones, especially this one, the Kucharik brothers. Bishop, that is just a phenomenal piece. I love it. It's my favorite statue, actually, from the Kucharik brothers, and they have a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them that are my favorites, but this is definitely my personal favorite and my personal grail from them. It's just phenomenal that what they did here, and as you can see, it matches perfectly. It looked fantastic. Sabretootth is huge compared to him scale wise, but you can see the difference right here. The same with with the Shiplet brothers and Randy Bowen, Juggernaut. That is also another grail for a lot of people. Phenomenal piece. Actually, I love this depiction of the character. Very classical, very modern. This is a whole, it's a depiction that can go for all ages. And it's not like a specific era. Like the Kotobukiya, it's actually, to me, is more like a depiction of the Jim Lee era of the 90s era of the character. But this actually goes with all the era. So it's definitely a fantastic piece that you can use display in any X-Men display, and it's going to look phenomenal. As you can see, this is phenomenal, fantastic. Ray Villafane actually did statues for Bowen designs for Sabertooth. To be honest with you, I love Ray's work. I was not ever a fan of the depictions that he had for the original depiction that he did for the Jim Lee era Wolverine. That actually it was too high in my opinion, on a ledge, and actually it was more just to match up the Old Man Logan statue, also from Bowen Designs. And it's a fantastic piece, good quality. Like Bowen does everything they do is a good quality, but it was never really a fan. I never translate well for me. Then of course also Ray did again some other versions, and actually I'm a fan of his classic depiction of the Sabertooth that did a few years back. There were actually 3 different models or types or 3 different versions. I'm sorry. They got the classical, that is my favorite. They have the Jim Lee era, that I'm okay with it, and then of course they got the more modern, the ultimate version, when he has some some pants and some a t-shirt, I think, or something like that. I don't remember well, but I was not a fan. Only the classical. Love the base. So to this point, I was always looking. I wanted to see a real depiction, in my opinion, of Jim Lee. Full throttle. I want something that it really match up that style that he had in the comic books, and this is what we come up with. He came up with this idea, and definitely I love this, and to me this is the best 1/6 scale Sabertooth. All right, when all is said and done, I can say this, that we are very happy that we were able to manage to do this. We were very skeptical in the beginning that we could have ever done it. We didn't even know anything much about the private commissions, but this was definitely one that we really fell in love with, and from the get-go we have learned a lot, and we are thankful for every person that has helped us to get this dream of ours to come true. It's just phenomenal. I really like it, and I cannot wait until this is fully painted and I can really showcase it in its full glory. But as you can see right there, it's just fantastic size wise. It matches pretty well with in this case the Kotobukiya, and I'm just ecstatic. Jim Lee still lives on, and especially in this type of things. And there's other characters that I would like to get done at some point in time, and it's something that I'm still Tony and I we consider. This is a private commission. This is something that you will not find in a store. Unfortunately, something that you will not be able to get any other place. But there's something that I want to share with you that has been a dream of ours, and something that we have worked very hard for on. And it takes a lot of time. It takes effort. A lot of endless hours on the phone because I live in South Carolina. Tony lives in California, so we always talk about this. Sometimes late at night, discussing how we're going to do this. It's definitely and another level of fun when you're able to be part of the creation of something that you wanted done. And this is a garage kit that I really love, something that I'm really passionate about. And if you want information about this, please send me a private message. If you want to have any questions, I can answer for you. I mean, I'll be more than glad that you know that you can to answer those questions. Send me a private message. You can send it here, but most importantly, go to my page, that JP Sarri Reviews. Send me private message there. I will reply to you. Of course, I'm a busy man, so I go to work. I have family, so I might not reply to you right away, and sometimes it might be a difference of time. But as soon as I got the opportunity, I will answer those questions, and you know, I'll be glad to communicate with you. Definitely get communicate with me. Also, don't forget, support Erick Sosa. Thank you again, Erick, for helping us with this process. But I invite everybody else, all my viewers, all my people that follow this channel, to follow him, to do what, pay attention. He's doing a lot of great stuff with Prototype C, especially now that he has the Marvel license. You're going to see a lot of Marvel, beautiful Marvel stuff coming hit your way. So support his vision, the Street Fighter stuff. Support him. He is a good guy. He is a very good friend, and he deserves all the, all the praise he can get, but also he deserves all the support that we can give him. So support him. He is definitely, he needs it like every other artist out there that needs some help and support in their endeavors. Support him. Follow me in this channel. Don't forget. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And spread the word, and just tell everybody else about my channel, and support in any way possible. So thank you once again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one, and stay tuned when I get the video with this fully painted. Take care, my friends.